Since the dawn of storytelling, there has been one tale in the Norse tradition that towers above all others, a saga not only of destruction but of renewal, not merely an end but a beginning, the prophecy of Ragnarok, the twilight of the gods and the rebirth of the world. To the ancient skalds who recited it beside roaring hearthfires under the northern lights, this was more than myth. It was a vision of cosmic cycles, of fate woven tightly by the Norns who spin, measure, and cut the thread of every life, even those of the gods themselves. They said that all things, mountains, seas, even the stars, must one day pass away, only to be born anew, and that even the mighty Odin, father of all, was not beyond the reach of destiny. In those elder days, the 9 realms were held in a fragile harmony: Asgard, shining home of the gods; Midgard, the world of humankind; Jotunheim, realm of the giants; Alfheim, land of the light elves; Svartalfheim, domain of the dark elves; Niflheim, the realm of frost and shadows; Muspelheim, the kingdom of fire and chaos; Vanaheim, where the Vanir gods dwelled; and Hel, the silent land of the dead. The great ash tree Yggdrasil stretched its roots and branches through all of them, its leaves shimmering with the breath of life. But even in times of seeming peace, signs of the end were written into the fabric of the cosmos. Odin himself sought wisdom about the fate to come. He wandered far beyond the walls of Asgard, even to Mimir's well at the root of Yggdrasil, where he sacrificed one of his eyes for a single draught of truth. In that bitter, cold water he saw visions: a wolf's mouth yawning wide enough to swallow the sun, seas boiling as a serpent's coils churned the depths, and a fire so bright it devoured the very sky. He returned to Asgard in silence, for he understood that even a god cannot fight the shape the Norns have spun. The prophecy began with a winter unlike any other, Fimbulwinter, a season that would last 3 long years without a single summer to break it. Snow would fall from every direction, driven by winds that sliced like knives, and the warmth of the sun would be but a memory. Across Midgard, crops would fail, rivers would freeze solid, and the hearts of humankind would grow hard as ice. Brothers would turn on brothers, fathers on sons, and mothers on daughters. Bonds of kinship would shatter, and compassion would wither. And when the 3rd winter ended, the sky itself would split with omens. The great wolf Skoll, who chased the sun, would finally catch it, swallowing its light, and his brother Hati would seize the moon, plunging all the worlds into darkness. Stars would vanish from the heavens, as though snuffed out by unseen hands. Then the earth would tremble with a roar as chains, long thought unbreakable, shattered in the gloom. In the depths of Asgard's outer reaches, Fenrir, the monstrous wolf child of Loki, would burst free from the bonds the gods had placed upon him. His eyes would burn with rage, and his breath would scorch the ground as he ran. In the ocean's farthest trench, the Midgard serpent, Jörmungandr, would stir, uncoiling its vast body until the waves themselves could no longer contain it. Heimdall, guardian of the Bifrost bridge, would blow until the veins in his neck stood out, for he knew this was the hour for which he had always been watchful. Across the rainbow span of the Bifrost came the foes of Asgard, giants from Jotunheim, serpent and wolf from the edges of the world, and the blazing host of Muspelheim. Odin would ride forth from the golden gates upon Sleipnir, his 8-legged steed, clad in shining mail, Gungnir, his spear, in hand. At his side would be the warriors of Valhalla, the Einherjar, chosen from the bravest of mortal heroes, their eyes bright with the honor of the final fight. Thor, god of thunder, would stride forward, Mjolnir gripped tight, the air crackling with lightning around him. Freyr would take up his own sword, though he had given his greatest weapon away in times of peace and knew he would pay the price. Tyr, the one-handed god, would face the hound Garm, whose howls shook the gates of hell. The clash would be unlike anything the worlds had ever seen. Odin would meet Fenrir in the heart of battle, spear against fawn. Thor would wade through the waves to meet Jörmungandr, each blow of his hammer sending thunder rolling across the darkened sky. Heimdall and Loki, fated enemies, would cross blades upon the smoking ruins of the Bifrost. Freyr would stand against Surtr, though the heat from the fire giant's blade lit the air around them ablaze. Tyr would meet Garm in a struggle fierce and unrelenting. Blow after blow would fall, shaking Yggdrasil itself. The sea would flood the land as Thor's final strike crushed Jörmungandr's skull, yet the serpent's venom would course through his veins, and he would take only Loki and Heimdall would both land mortal blows upon each other, collapsing together as the flames of Muspelheim surged ever higher. Surtr, seeing his foes fall, would raise his sword high and bring it down upon the earth, and fire would sweep across all the realms. Yggdrasil would shudder, its leaves burning, yet in its deepest root the seeds of life would cling still. The oceans would swallow the land, and the sky would be a dome of fire and ash. Then, at last, there would be silence. From that silence, after an age beyond counting, the waters would recede, the smoke would clear, and green would return to the earth. A new sun would rise, the daughter of the one devoured by Skoll, shining brighter than before. From the forest would come Lif and Lifthraiser, the two humans who had hidden themselves away during the chaos, sustained by the morning dew. They would walk into the light, their footsteps the first of a new age of humankind. Some gods would return, Baldr, the Radiant One, and his blind brother Hodr, reconciled in peace, would walk the renewed fields of Asgard. The halls would be rebuilt, finer and fairer than before. The rivers would run clear, the air would be sweet, and in the branches of Yggdrasil an eagle would sing of all that had been and all that was to come. And thus the cycle would begin anew, for the Norse knew that no ending is final, and from the twilight of one age always rises the dawn of another. Ragnarok was never merely a doom, it was the promise that even after the longest winter, spring will return, and from ashes can grow the green shoots of life again.